Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm here with the Droid DNA from Verizon. Now you're probably wondering, why am I bringing out such an old device? Well, yeah, this is old, but it's still live and kicking, and it is actually in full throttle right now. So if you didn't hear, CyanogenMod has now officially launched their CM12 nightlies for several devices, and wouldn't you know it, the Droid DNA is on the list. So I have installed the newest and very first nightly. So if you don't know what a nightly is, basically it is like a test version of the new operating system that they're working on. So it's something that you should expect to have bugs with. So it's not designed for something that you need to use as an everyday driver. Because like I said, it can have bugs, it can do, random reboots and have things that don't work, force closes and whatnot, because it is still in kind of beta or even pre-beta mode. So it's not normally designed for daily driver, but that being said, I have been extremely impressed with this nightly. This is literally the very first one that popped up. So it's only been out for a few days to maybe a week now. Can't remember exactly when they released it, but it's not that long ago. And I'm running the first one. And the reason why I'm repeatedly saying that is because I haven't found any major bugs whatsoever. Now there's two things to keep in mind with this one. If you notice I'm in airplane mode, it's because I don't have a SIM in this phone, so I cannot attest to how well the call works, if there's any bugs with SMS, MMS, or calling, because I don't use those on this phone. So that's one thing I cannot say if it's good or not. But other than that, the rest of the device, I haven't had any major issues. The only one thing that I've noticed, and it's only happened maybe 2 or 3 times since I've been running it, is the Wi-Fi has not cut out. So it wasn't like I didn't have access, but it slowed down dramatically. At home I have like 35 or 40 megs up and down, and it was going down to like 0.02 or something like that. So it was pretty much at a standstill. And everything else in my house worked fine, so I thought, well, that's weird. Well, maybe I had a connection error. So all I did was come over here, toggle it off, toggle it back on, and it booted back up just fine, and it works. So didn't even need to reset my phone, restart it, or anything like that. Just a simple toggle off, toggle back on, and it worked perfectly. So yes, that could be seen as a bug, but it could have just been a temporary disruption between the device and my Wi-Fi, because that can happen too sometimes. So who knows what it was. I can't guarantee it was a bug for CyanogenMod here, but I'm going to say it is. But at the moment, that's it. That is the only problem I ran into on this ROM. And considering that this is the very first nightly ROM, I'm extremely impressed. Because technically, if I needed this can be my daily driver. So yeah, there you go. If you're thinking about doing it, if you have the Droid DNA, you want to put some life back into it, and you don't care about having Sense ROM on there, do it. It's great. You get all the Lollipop features. As you can see, the animations are very quick and fluid. Everything works great. Swiping is spot on. Virtually no lag. Sometimes when I come to the recents, as you can see, it's a little slow to pop up, but the recents menu is one of those things that I'm still kind of wondering if I like it or not. I think it's too much. I like HTC's style of like the 9-up grid, because there's just not so much you have to go through. Sometimes you get things lost. But CyanogenMod has the little swipe all away, so you can either just do the 1 or 2 type of swipes to get rid of things, or you can hit this toggle up here, that little emblem, and everything goes away and closes out. So another thing I've done is disabled in Chrome. I've disabled all of the tabs, so I don't have like all those tabs flooding this area, because that just annoyed me. I like the traditional Google Chrome tabs on the, in Chrome itself, and keep them separate from apps to tabs. So that's the only thing that's a little bit cleaner, a little bit less in this drawer here. But you can see, you still get to search, still all the Lollipop features. CyanogenMod also still has their swipe, has their swipe down from, come on, turn back on, from this side to get your quick settings, or swipe down for this side for the notifications. Of course, you can still swipe down just like normal with Lollipop, so a double swipe brings you to your settings and so on. That's all the same. CyanogenMod also has some nice features. If you notice right up here, you got the little number symbol going on there. That is because I have turned on root access, and there's an app using root, or has basically I've given permission to. So that's letting me know, hey, something on your phone has been allowed to have root access. And so that's why that little emblem is there. So I think that's kind of cool. It lets me know when something actually is accessing or I've allowed to have root. So if I definitely didn't allow anything to have root and I see that symbol popped up, I'm like, well, wait a minute. So you can go through and figure out what's happening there, just for security. But it's really cool what they've done with root. I didn't have to do anything extra except for just install the ROM. And when you turn on your developer settings, so if you don't have them on for the first time or you never turned them on, you come here and you just keep tapping build number, and that'll do it. Right now I already have it, so I don't need to enable it. But you keep tapping it several times and it'll tell you, hey, congratulations, you're now a developer. And there you go, you got your developer options. And that's where you would normally turn on things like debugging mode and so on, if you need to get into that type of stuff. So one nice thing about it is they also integrated the root access. So you can literally toggle it back and on and off, and also have control over it if you want it in ADB root or just your apps or both or not or all that good stuff. So it's a pretty cool little setup. I like the way they did that. The only thing I don't like about that is there's not a separate app that kind of gives you a list of all of your basically authorized root accessed or root access apps. So that's one thing I'm a little weary about, is I can't really go through and see it unless there's something I'm missing. But yeah, anyways, a couple things I don't think I like for Lollipop so far. Since I have this on here, I'll just point those type of little features out. First off is what they did with the bubble menu. When you have your little folders here. Before on KitKat, they kind of staggered off to the side, and I like that because I was able to see a little bit more of what I have. But now it's just straight up and down, and I think, that's personal opinion, I think it just kind of wastes a little bit of the space there that they could use if they still staggered, or even if they kind of put them, side to side or something, so you can see a little bit more of what's in there. Now I know it's just a quick little folder, let you know there's stuff in there, but I don't know. I don't like that straight up and down stacking. To me, that's just weird. It looks like it's kind of just wasting space, but I don't like that for design aspects. But another thing I don't like is the new volume system. So what they've done is when you hit your volume up and down, it brings you to this menu that is a good idea to kind of. I understand the principle. Basically what it is, you have all. So when you're on all volume is normal, and then you get to control your volume up and down. So all means all notifications, all rings, everything will come through all is all. Pretty self-explanatory. But then you have this priority mode is your next mode. So you don't really go down and have like mute or simple go to your vibration type of thing like you can there. Normally you go to its priority mode, and it's neat because you get to say for instance, I only want phone calls to come through and nothing else. So I'll actually go into the settings of that. So there you go. So you can tell if you want events, calls, messages, and so on. And that lets you know that only these will come through. So if I don't want calls to come through, I don't want messages, I only want my events and reminders to come through, that's what those toggles are for. And then it also shows, how you can handle it and when it happens. If you want to like set up an actual priority mode, so if, say for instance, every day you go to work at the exact same time, you want to set it to priority mode, just bring it in here and it'll start and end when you program it to. So that's a nice little feature. But I like basically just telling the phone itself to do it. Maybe I'll get used to that. I probably will have to, because that's just the way Lollipop is now. But that's one weird thing. But none, I think, is the one that kind of bugs me, because when you hit none, it's an easy, quick setting to all silence, just mute your phone. But if you are one to use your phone as your alarm clock, you got to make sure what you're doing there, because when you hit none, that doesn't mean just mute. That means everything. No interruptions, not even alarms. So that can get confusing. That can cause some trouble for people that need their alarm clock for getting up. So that's something to keep in mind with the new Lollipop volume system. So I don't know. I can't say I hate it. I'm just a little not partial to it, or I don't know. I'm not sure if I like it or not right now, but it is weird to me. So that's probably my only gripes for Lollipop at the moment, are those couple little design aspects and the volume rocker. but everything else runs great on this ROM. If you're looking at getting Lollipop on your device and you don't want to wait, as a matter of fact, I don't think HTC is even going to update this anymore. I'm pretty sure it's done with updates because of how old it is. It's over 2 years now. So if you want Lollipop on your Droid DNA, this is the best recommended one. Now, if it's your daily driver, I do recommend, why don't you give it some time and let the nightlies build up and work out some little bugs that they find if they do. And best bet, wait till a stable version. But if you're ready to go and you don't care, or it's a secondary device, or you're just really eager to get Lollipop on your Droid DNA, do it. It's CM12 is what it is. It's not unofficial. This is official CM12 nightlies. You can check out XDA for all of the information and recommendations on how to unlock your phone and get through all that if you haven't done any of that before. Read everything you can about it. I'm not going to do tutorials on how to unlock that stuff because I think that you need to really read up on all of that before you get into it and know what you're doing. So just watching somebody do it is fun and it's easy, but it doesn't let you know what you're doing, so you don't know how to fix problems if you run into something. One other thing I wanted to mention is if you're going to do this, I recommend use the TeamWin recovery project. And so that other people have been using Clockwork mod, and it works, I guess, for some. It doesn't work for others, so I've heard mixed messages on that. Also, make sure if you're using this, use the newest one available, which is now at 2.7.1, I believe it is, for the Droid DNA. It's on a newer version for newer devices, so like 2.8 for the HTC One M8. But make sure you're on the newest one, because when you switch over to a Lollipop ROM, it gets kind of quirky if you don't have the newest version. They're not designed to run on Lollipop, so make sure you have that before you do anything, because you can run into issues installing it. So definitely make sure. TWRP and at least 2.7.1 version or newer. Okay, so that's pretty much all I can say. Recommend. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them down below. Give me that thumbs up while you're down there. Don't forget to hit the subscribe. I got more things coming up in the future. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching.